You cannot have a biblical marriage and be on the internet. Having social media is leverage to women. It's leverage because now you make money, and it's also leverage because now you can weaponize your social media following against your husband if you so choose. I need a job. I could do a song about that. Pearl, stop being such a slob. We all know that you need a job. Pearl, stop doing this show. We know you gotta lay low. Pearl, get a job. Get a job. We really need you to get a job. I should get a burqa. You're saying I got to find a guy who owns a truck. What the? Why don't I get a burqa? I don't think I would do well in a burqa. I know. Why don't I have a record deal? It's so crazy. It's like, I mean, they were begging me. They're begging me. They're like, Pearl. It's like I just had a lot of record deals offered all the time. And I turn them down. You know what I mean? I'm like, no, I can't. I'm super busy. That's why I don't have one. You know what I mean? It's like, my weekend's been good. Thanks for asking. I will get into the topic tonight, but I just kind of wanted to hang out, chill out with you guys. I'm currently on a diet, sort of. And I've given up processed sugar, and I've been succumbed to fruit. And it is not the same. I really miss candy. I'm not skinny. I'm skinny for black guys. Yeah, of course. He's a black guy. Of course. It's not shocking. It's not shocking that you said I'm skinny. I'm not skinny for white guys. In the white community, I'm normal. Like, yeah. I'm like 22% body fat. I'm trying to get to 17, 18 to 19% body fat. That's when I'd be skinny. In 15 pounds, I think I might hit skinny territory. Now, people always come back to me and they'll always like, Pearl, you don't need to lose weight. And that's usually fat people. It's usually chubby people that say that. Playing music and going to the gym. That's really all I do every day. I go to the gym, hang out with my guy. Okay, have I been to Lollapalooza? I'll tell you a story about this. And I come here to you guys. What more does a bitch need? What more does a bitch need? You're saying I'm amazing. I'm not that great. And we'll get into that today. There's a lot of ways I'm just not the best. I could be better. I want to do a live debate and a meet and greet in your city. The problem is I don't have any of your contact information, nor do I know what city you guys are in. So make sure you fill out the form in the description. Just click. It's a Google form. The link's in the description so we can contact you when we have an event in your city. Thanks, guys. Like, apparently I rage quit the other day. You know, that's just very, you know, I just, the worst. What'd you ask? Okay, Lollapalooza. I've never been to Lollapalooza. I've never been. And it's not necessarily that I'm above it. I don't think I'm above. I've been very close. No, my camera's about to crash out. No. We'll see how long this lasts. Oh my God. Oh my God. This is an A1 crash out. Production, you guys got to figure out how to fix this. Oh my God. What do I do now? This is bad. Hold on. Let me turn it off and on again. Doug MPA, can you get in the Signal chat and see if they can? This is bad. This is very out of the blue. They got to give me options here. How to fix this. Oh, maybe that worked. We'll see. So Lollapalooza. I actually, when I was 17, because I graduated high school a year early. So when I was 17, I did want to go to Country Thunder and Lollapalooza. Now, I was pretty innocent in high school. I'm a degenerate now. You already know I'm very degenerate. You know, but back then, super, super cute, you know. And I was like, tee-hee, I want to go, you know. And so my parents, I was really into like volleyball when I was a kid. Obsessed. I was obsessed with volleyball. All I wanted to do was do volleyball. It was kind of how I bonded with my father growing up. He coached me in basketball. They would come to my games, and that was just like how we bonded. And so sports was really important to me. I probably should have let it go a little sooner. I kind of wish I quit after college. I don't know, because I did enjoy playing in England for a few years, but it is it's kind of a useless skill, but whatever. So every year my parents would leave me home for like a month because they would go on vacation when I got into high school. And I would want to stay home because I didn't want to take a month off of volleyball. So my parents did this for 3 years. And I'd like to say 2 years in a row, I did no parties, no drinking, no nothing. Cause I was pretty innocent. Like I just wasn't my parents were kind of free reign parents with me and my older brother because we just didn't really get into trouble. Do you know what I mean? Like we just weren't those kind of kids, but I was about to leave for college. It was the summer before. And I said, I'm signing up for trouble this year. So anyways, I threw a party. Now, the way my parents tell this story, they weren't there, so they made it seem like it was like Project X. In all actuality, it was like 20 people. Now, it was wrong. I was wrong, but like, do you know what I mean? It was like a small thing. I would weigh, anyone that knows me personally knows I'm not a super high risk person in that way. Like, I'm not trying to get arrested for anything. Anyways, so whatever. I got caught pretty immediately. And the way I got caught was really stupid, actually. It was not me. So what happened was this was like a few days before I was going to go meet my parents on vacation. So I threw this little shindig. I'm like, I'm getting away with this. I was a brat. That was a bratty thing to do. This was wrong, right? But I thought I got away with it. And to be fair, I just want to, for shits and giggles, my parents left me alone for 3 months total over 3 years as a high schooler. That's a lot of freedom to give a kid. I think one party isn't so bad. I don't think that's that bad. I really don't think that's, I think overall I was a pretty good kid. I was into competitive volleyball. I mean, maybe I was the devil. I don't know. But anyways, no, I did not get pregnant. No. So anyways, I leave the party and we clean up. I think I'm good. And I join my parents on vacation. Then some of them go back. And my dad goes back and he finds a bag full of beer cans in the garage. And I'm thinking, no one drank beer at the party I threw. Against better judgment, we probably should have, but it was liquor. And so I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. This beer was not at my party. And so I'm like, are they lying to me? Are they like trying to entrap me here? And so I'm like, a thing of beer? Do you know, I knew I took the trash out too. So I'm like, what? Like, I knew that I took the trash and I'm like, there was no trash here. I know they said entrapment, whatever. Now, the real story was I texted, this is in the early days of iMessage. I texted my sister's like iCloud. So my parents had an idea that something was going on because of some texts that were sent to the iCloud or something. So that was kind of an L, right? So they're already suspicious. They go through the trash, obviously, because they got to look for evidence. And what actually happened was my asshole friends at the time came back to my parents' house through another party without me. One wasn't enough. One was not enough. They came back through another party without me and left the beer and didn't clean it up. That's how I got caught. These assholes came back. They came back. Yeah. I know. And they gaslit me forever about it. I remember like one of them looking him in the eye and being like, "Did you do it?" And they're like, "No." What an asshole. Do you know what I mean? I was like, what an asshole. Yeah, obviously not the best of friends. No fatigue for them. Oh, guess what color he was? This was the one black guy. Sorry, I'm like, sorry, that wasn't even a story about fatigue. But since you said that, I was like, do you know what? No, it was three guys. It wasn't just the black guy, but one of them was black. I'm just saying. No, I'm not still friends with them. I left for school and never talked to them again. I was pissed because you know what happened? My parents, they sent me to Wisconsin. I had to sell my Country Thunder tickets. I had to sell all my tickets. Lollapalooza. And then I never ended up going. I never ended up attending a festival because after that, every summer I always wanted to take volleyball seriously. I always struggled with my weight, so I didn't like going to those kind of festivals. But yeah. They sent me to Wisconsin to live with my grandma in the middle of nowhere. And I was very bored. So no, I've never been to Lollapalooza. I almost went this past year actually because my brother was going. But do you know what it was? I have my goals that I just want to get through. And I really wanted to get through my guitar lessons. This is going to sound so stupid. I do lessons almost every day in guitar and piano. You wouldn't think. You think I'd be better, right? But because of a black guy, I moved. No, well, it was three guys. Two were white, one was black. One was an actor though, and I had never his lying skills were the best. They all gaslit me though. That was crazy. That was crazy. I was banished to Wisconsin. You exhibit what I hope my oldest daughter grows into. No, I got a lot of flaws. I would find somebody better. I would find somebody better than me. Pretty, less chopped, more feminine, more better, you know. Yeah, I wouldn't pick me. Please don't make me hurt. Please don't have her. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And then I went to Milwaukee. No, Milwaukee was post school. How do you know I lived in Milwaukee? How do okay, you know, that was a little like, and we didn't meet there, number one. You know, Pearl, get glam makeup done and do a photo shoot, and you'll see your bones are fine. Your eye color is good. Do your hair. Watch. Look, I think women that look nicer all the time are fat women. Because I don't know how you're going to have time to do all the workouts I do. Maybe if I ate healthier, I wouldn't have to do them. I'm kind of working towards that. But I'm like, you know what? I think women that look nice all the time are generally not as athletic. They're generally not that athletic. Yes, I'm eating strawberries. I'm ghetto now. I'm ghetto. Okay, I will do this after I hit my goal weight. I have 10 to 15 more pounds I want off. And people act like that's nothing. That's 35,000 calories of a deficit. No, I just got strawberry on my sweatshirt. No! No! You've become very skinny. No thickness at all. He's black. Of course he says that. Can you shed some light on why the majority of women use bird hands when they speak? I can't tell you because I think I do it. Yeah, you know that. The reason we do it is because we're more anxious and socially awkward than you guys. So you guys can just talk and get to the point. You guys think before you talk. We just talk. And so that makes us anxious. So we got to be like, you know. Stay away from the heavy makeup. You don't need it. I'm too lazy for it. I mean, last year I really put some time and effort into like doing my makeup and my hair. And I'm just not that comfortable in nice clothes. I mean, I'll maybe do it for like a date, but I just, if the WNBA had a stylist and a makeup department, they could sell more tickets. Look, you really just have to accept my flaws. Strawberries, there's lots of sugar in strawberry. Well, I'm doing sugar-free, but I'm letting myself eat fruit, so. Diet will make you lose weight. I know, but I don't eat clean enough. I still have to work out. That's simping. That's it. You got it. That's the simpiest. I'm going to ban you. Do that again. I'm banning you. I'm banning you from the chat. Okay. All right. Should I get into the topic now? I should probably get to the point. Thank you for the super chat. Oh, yeah, you said that. If you want to, incentivize me to stream more, I will tell you, super chats help. Because I always have to think, do I want to record reactions or do I want to live stream? And the more I get super chats, then the more I live stream. Did I get my doom and gloom from CGA? I kind of got it from my boyfriend, but he's very realistic. And so any ounce of hope I had, like I remember this one day, he was kind of telling me that everything's going to get like worse in a way. And then I was like, no, it won't. And then he was like, trends don't change overnight. And so if it's trending this way, it's going to keep going. Like things don't just magically change. And I'm like, aw. Because he really knows the material. Yeah, he knows the material better than me. Should I get to the topic? All right, I'm going to get to the point. Okay. So today we're talking about submission. Traditional wives are only submissive when they feel like it. So what had me, I guess, thinking about this topic was an article I saw by Maddy Pruitt. Now, if you didn't know, Maddy Pruitt is a girl who definitely sold purity to her husband. My God, she sold purity so hard. And she's kind of like a Christian influencer type. Okay. Let's see. Let me go. This gal. Oh no. I don't know what this ad is. This girl. Now I guess maybe I'll show you the context. Maddy Pruitt and Peter Webb. Any Bachelor fans? I hope this doesn't get copyrighted. So she goes on this dating show, right? And it's like where, one girl dates, like one guy dates like 20 women at a time. And there's like fantasy suites the last week. So it's like 4 women left and there's no cameras and they basically go bang most of the time. And she finds out she's, I guess, claiming to be a virgin, even though she's like in her mid-20s, went to a big school, yada, yada. And she's claiming virginity, right? And she finds out that Peter slept with someone else. And by the way, I'm just going to show you how attractive the women were on this season. Like, you're telling me he has to turn down this girl? She just had like a kid, but are you guys saying no to this? I don't know if this is big enough, but like, do you see what I mean? It's like, yeah, he's going to bang her. Peter Weber finalists. He's gonna go in. Like, these are the 4 remaining ladies. Yeah. These are like the 4 women he got to choose to have sex with. So obviously, oh my God, where'd the picture go? Whatever. But obviously Kelsey, Madison, Hannah, etc. So obviously he did that. And now on paper, this looks, she kind of got like a lead arc. Let me show you.
I'm trying so hard to like put myself.
So again, she found out he slept with someone.
In your shoes. I just don't I don't know how to let go of the things that I need in a relationship. I don't want to feel like a bad person for the standards that I have.
You're not
I know, but I'm so proud of who I am and the choices that I've made and the standards that I have. And it's been so freaking hard in this because I've had to look past a lot of things. No, I'm not okay with the guy that to be kissing other women. But I've.
So again, she's playing victim as she signed up for the show where this happens every year. You're sharing a dude the last
fought, and I've gotten here, and I've gotten to this place, and it's I've sacrificed a lot, and I've compromised a lot, and I've really pushed myself in a lot of ways that I wouldn't normally for anybody else.
Way too dramatic.
But you're worth it, and I'm fighting, and I'm...
Okay, whatever. She cries. She says, I'm a virgin. Now, again, there's men dumb enough to believe that she's a virgin and has done nothing. A girl that looks like this. And by the way, she had TikToks of her saying she used to date NBA players. Come on. Or athletes. And these are always what the guys look like that fall for this. So this is her husband now. Now I'm going to read this article. I guess I actually should also put the definition of submissive, just, so ready to conform to the authority or the will of others, meek, obedient, passive. So obey, basically. All right. Bachelor alum Maddy Pruitt says being a submissive wife is her favorite thing. The Bachelor runner-up Maddy Pruitt found a husband and is happy to let him take the lead. On her Stay True podcast, Pruitt, the runner-up on season 24, shared her thoughts while speaking to her husband, Grant Trout, and guest Bryce Crawford, who recently became engaged to Maddie Dodd. Pruitt said it was a challenge at first to be a submissive wife, but she's really come around to the idea. Now it's my favorite thing. I love talking about submission. Oh my God. She says, I love talking about, not doing it, talking about it. And I'm gonna land this plane. I'm gonna tell you what the issue is here. Pruitt, who competed for the heart of airline pilot Peter Weber, The Bachelor in 2020, has spoken about the concept of being submissive in her marriage before. As a wife, I'm called to submit. I'm called to respect. I'm called to honor. She said during an episode of her podcast, I'm called to love. I'm called to be committed, to keep our marriage bed pure, and to make him, other than God, my greatest priority. Pruitt married Trout in 2022 after a 3-month engagement. So this is when you can tell someone's blue-pilled, when they're willing to like just take the leap and they don't require the woman to work for their commitment at all. Here, random woman who was on TV. Here is your ring. They welcomed their daughter in January of this year. The world thought we were crazy. Maybe we were a little bit. We were just excited to get married for because he wanted that punani. For soon-to-be wed couples, Pruitt advised, fight to unite and not to be right. That was one of the hardest things for me when we got married. She continued, I just want to be right all the time, and it was my way or the highway. I learned a lot through prayer and humbling myself before God. And he was like, actually, you get a lot of junk that you need to sort through. It was very sanctifying. Now, what's wrong with this? Pearl, you're just a hater. Pearl, why must you find a problem with everything? I don't know. I think, again, there's something wrong with me. There's something not great about me. Hold on, where is this? But, I grew up in the era of the Facebook mom. I'm a young millennial woman. Oh man, wrong one. I'm a young millennial woman. Meaning, when I was in 8th grade, I got my first Facebook. That was when I got social media. I remember it was in 8th grade and it was very devastating because I didn't know I wasn't invited to things before then. I know, a young Pearl. I thought I was always included, and it turned out I was not always included. But I had no idea, so it never bothered me before. But I remember this so clearly. Finding out my friends all hung out without me, I was like, I'm devastated. I was pretty sad. Pretty sad. But remember, in the era of Facebook community, I really got to see how women use their families to build their brand and for clout. In fact, I'm not going to go too into it, but I'll say I was a part of that train. And what I found was the women that said they were the most submissive and tried to market to the world that they were the most traditional were actually the biggest bitches and nothing. And if you pay attention, if you pay close enough attention, you'll understand the psychology of why. This woman got a whole article dedicated to talking about how awesome she was being a submissive wife. What was the point of that article? I am awesome. That's a degree of narcissism. And you got to pay attention. Women that use their family to build their brand and for their marketing have a higher degree of narcissism because they're saying, screw your privacy, build my brand. And when I listen to this, something in my soul, like in my deep of soul, just, it makes me think that they're kind of full of shit. Now you might say, but Pearl, why do you have to be such a downer? Why do you have to be so negative? Well, I started thinking about submission. And I started thinking in my soul, like, what is submission? And I thought about the dynamic with a boss, right? So if your boss tells you something, you say yes. You got to do it. You have to do it anyway. And I thought about this to see if a woman's submissive It's not when men tell them to do something that they want to do anyways. So I'll give you an example for me. And I'm not the best example. I'd like to say there's better examples, way better than me. So I'm not. My boyfriend, he tells me, if he says to me, he says, I don't know, go clean the floors or go do X, Y, and Z. And it's not something I really mind doing. I don't think that means anything. Like I was talking to my friend today and he's like, and I said, I don't think I've met a submissive woman ever. I don't think I've met one. I don't think I have met one woman that I think is submissive. Actually, no, I have met one from my hometown. Shout out. I'm not going to say her name, but you're the only one I know. It's not cooking, actually. It's really not cleaning. It's how does she react when she's told no? And there's a caveat. It has to be something that she really wants to do. That she, or when you really feel like your boyfriend's wrong, or you really feel like your husband is wrong. That's true submission. It's, this is, and I don't think I know one married woman that doesn't struggle with this. I don't know one. I think this is a skill that takes years to develop. Years. This is not something that you learn to do overnight. Because there's things that you have to learn. Like, I always want to give my opinion. Obviously, I do this job. Part of it's actually not giving your opinion. Do you give your boss every opinion? No. And I was thinking about there's little social skills. How can I help? And so to me, the thought, I'm like, you've been married for like 5 minutes and you're a submissive wife already. And I thought about this submissive wife that I know. And when I talked to her about it, when they talk about submission, I think they have too positive of a view on it. That's my caveat. That's why I think they're full of shit. Because, submission isn't really a good, like, it's not a fun thing. The way I look at submission, the way I look at it, it's kind of like doing a cut. Like right now, I'm eating my stupid fruit. I want gummy bears. That's what I want, but I mean stupid fruit. And I know I'm going to be a baddie. In a year and a half, I'm going to be so bad. You guys won't even know what to do with me. I'm going to be a hottie. But it's going to take, but if you ask me, imagine you said, Pearl, how's cutting? And I said, oh, it's amazing. I'm already a nutritionist. They would be like, oh, you really like cutting? You like being in a 500 calorie deficit every day? And I would say, yeah, I love it. It's amazing. But the person's being more honest when me coming on here, I keep seeing these Nick clips go viral and I really relate to them. That's why they're so funny, of him talking about how much he hates dieting. He's being honest. And the trainers that say, oh, it's not that bad. You're like, fuck you, I know. Use the shortcut, Pearl Ozempic. Do you know what? I wish I did 5 years ago because it's been so much work, but I'm too close. I'm too close to the end. I won't do it. And in the long term, I feel better. I have more energy. I'm happier. And I really think that's the same thing as being submissive. A woman without a man, we just become dumb, fat whores that are broke. That's kind of what happens. But, that process, kind of like eating junk food when you binge and you just I used to love, oh my God, I used to love just eating a giant, I would order Domino's and I'd get a thin crust pizza and I would just eat the whole thing. It would be, oh, I want it so bad. I want it so bad. And it would be amazing. But then after you feel kind of guilty and you look at your life and you're like, this isn't going well. And that's kind of like women without a boyfriend or a husband. Because, you know, you look back and you're like, damn, I'm a fat, ugly whore now. I'm a fat, you know, and that's kind of the way, like, for me to believe a woman, I have to see a few things. Like this woman I grew up with, there was a lot of things her husband just would not let her do that she very obviously wanted to do. This woman was kind of a free spirit. It's so funny. If you spoke to her, she would be like the most unlikely of submissive women. She was amazing. She was so cool. She could make everything from scratch. She was how do you say, like, but she was really loud. She was really out there. Like you would not think, but I remember the other moms in the neighborhood would think she was like crazy because, like, I can't remember what the rules were, but they would have rules that, like, on the outside seemed stupid. Like the boys, you know, she had boys. They couldn't come over past a certain time. Or I can't remember exactly what it was. But the way she spoke about submission was just more real to me. It just made more sense. Like, she would say, oh, it's so hard like, oh my God, I wish I could do her accent. It was so funny. But she would be like, oh, it's so hard someday, but, you know, I made a promise to God, so I got it. You know what I mean? So, and what I realized is a lot of women, we have a tendency, because we always think we're better than we are. We think we're submissive, but it's only when we feel like it. And I had a friend that I called recently. And I was like, have you ever met a submissive woman? And then he was like, no, like the girl I'm dating, she's so easygoing. And I'm like, he's like, she doesn't like to go out. She doesn't like doing all this stuff. And I'm like, okay, but what if you told her we're going out when she does, like, because I'm like, she's basically lowered her price to be free, or like for you, right? You got a low price. She likes you. But I'm like, what if she really didn't want to go out and you said we're going out? Is she going? He's like, I take it back. I haven't met a submissive woman ever either. Will Pearly be submitted at marriage? Now, look, this is what I don't like. There's a lot of women that say, oh, I will be. I'm not going to have that big of an ego. I'll do my best. But I am sure it's, you know, I can't imagine it's going to be easy. Like for life, that's a long time. That's a long time of shutting up. I have a hard time shutting up. And so any woman that pretends she doesn't struggle with it, I just don't believe her. Especially when I know women that have been working at it for years and have not achieved full submission. Paul says to submit to one another. Dear God, you're one of those. I can't help you. Okay. And I want to kind of go through, because this girl kind of has a performative. I don't hate her stuff, but it's very performative. And I want you to be able to, like, not waste your time with like women like that. Nothing against her, but all right, hold on. This is
Pruitt and her husband. Okay. She said, being a submissive wife, it was a challenge for me at first, but now it's my favorite thing. I love talking about submission. Very base take. Okay. Let's take a look at the comments, shall we? May this life never find me.
Now, again, when we look at it, oh no, I didn't share my screen. Okay. Hold on.
Okay.
Okay. Let me go back.
This is Maddy Pruitt and her husband. Okay. She said, being a submissive wife, it was a challenge for me at first, but now it's my favorite thing. I love talking about submission. Very base take. Okay. Let's take a look at the comments, shall we? May this life never find me.
And a lot of times, like, she's going to virtue signal and say, I am submissive. Look at me. I am submissive, which makes me think you're less submissive. I'm going to be honest. And it's going to be shaming the women that say, may this life never find me. But when you think about it from women's point of view, it's perfectly reasonable. You got to make it equivalent to like, I want to eat junk food 24/7. It makes perfect sense why you'd want to do that. Do you know what I mean? It's like, I want to stuff my face with food. And then I think, like, when I hear this girl talk, does it give me the energy of a woman that hears no and receives it? I got to be honest. It's just, I've seen this girl. I like her bread recipes, but I just don't get that energy. I don't get it really. I don't even get it from the virgin women I've met. Yeah, hold on.
Okay, just be a controlling, nagging wife with a husband that hates you, I guess. I feel bad for that little girl. She's an adult. What in the Handmaid's Tale? This is just a biblical marriage. Can we please stop glamorizing this? No, it's literally.
And then what they'll do is, look, you cannot have a biblical marriage and be on the internet. Now, I know you're going to say, Pearl, you're a hypocrite. I know I am a hypocrite. I am. But I'm still going to talk about this stuff. The reason being is having social media is leverage to women. It's leverage because now you make money, and it's also leverage because now you can weaponize your social media following against your husband if you so choose. Now, I'm not saying you'll do it, right? But it is a choice, meaning it can't be
literally the best way to live. Just awful comments, honestly. What do we expect? Let me just break this down for you real quick, okay? Sub means under, mission. We know what a mission is. When you're in a marriage, because God created marriage, you are under the mission of God. Our God is a God of order. Look at this beautiful.
And it's just interesting because, like, when I see this, like, I just never see the women like giving up things they want. Like, they don't, like, how do I put it? I've never seen a woman give up social media for marriage. I'll believe the submissive wife when you delete your account. And it's okay. I'm not saying they should, right? But it's just, it just screams kind of like BS to me. I was married 22 years to a widower now. It doesn't have to be 100% submission, but someone has to lead. Well, it's usually the women. It's usually the women that are leading.
Thing he did with marriage, okay? There's no other relationship like it. It is the only relationship in the world that exemplifies Christ. The husband represents Christ by being willing to lay down his life for the wife. The wife represents the body of Christ, the church, by respecting and submitting to her husband. Isn't that incredible? Now, what happens is obviously the word of God gets twisted, and all these feminists say, well, submission is slavery and you're under the control of a man, and
you are under the control of a man. I mean, ideally, right? You're obedient to what he wants. And what they do is the conservative women, God, my camera's going again. They'll gaslight you and say, no, that's not what that means. And it's because they don't want it to mean that, obviously. But it's actually exactly what it means. And it does suck in a lot of ways. Like submission, it does suck because you can't do whatever you want. Like there's a reason women love being whores. Like it's fun to just, you can fly wherever you want, go wherever you want. You don't have to answer to anybody. I could go anywhere at any time. Like that's amazing. That's amazing. So it makes sense why it's difficult. However, that turns us into big fat whores. Right?
Have no willpower and you've lost your identity and you're dumb for submitting to a man. Meanwhile, they struggle in every single area of their life.
Pearl, can we ask questions with the super chat and the phone lines? I might open it later. We'll see. I'm going to see how long I monologue. If you guys keep it quick, we can do phone lines. Yes, you can answer. I answer questions with super chats. Yeah, I know. The way the chick speaks, not submission vibes, more like insistent, assertive, kind of opposite. Yeah, it's kind of funny when you hear women speaking really assertively and then saying they're submissive. I'm like, pick one, bitches,
Because they're unwilling to let go of control and surrender to God, and they definitely don't want to submit to a man. Truthfully, these women just think they're better than her or at a higher IQ level because they LARP as girl bosses online, when really they just spend their time being bitter towards young, married, happy women. This is Maddy Pruitt and her husband.
Okay, where's the other ones? Let's see.
People say that the initiation
One was diabolical.
of the feminist movement was quite positive, and I've heard you say that you don't agree with that.
Well, boobs out with a Jesus necklace. Diabolical. Pick one. Diabolical. Diabolical. So then here's another one. Slightly unhinged rules in my marriage. So again, this is it's not my marriage, not our marriage. Like a lot of women, they subtly kind of reveal themselves. Who do you think's making these rules? No TV in the bedroom? Weekly 2-hour meetings to discuss finances, our marriage, and individual lives. Like, is that something that men want? Like a 2-hour meeting to check in with his wife? Work out every day, no matter how busy we are. Noah trusts my intuition with people because of my female spidey senses. Fresh bread. Yeah. And nothing against her, but I don't really believe it. And I think that's kind of what I'm getting at. I hear this and it doesn't like, none of them, even me, scream obedient. It just, oh God. I mean, where does your eyes go on this picture, fellas? You know what I mean? Yeah, like, oh my God. She's interviewing this guy with like the shortest skirt. Oh my God, bruh. Yeah. I do like her bread recipe.
Welcome back to my series where I'm teaching you how to make your husband fat so he can't.
Yeah, but this is kind of like corn if we're just going to be honest. Yeah, so I just don't believe any of them. And I know real traditional women, so I just don't really appreciate the LARP. I would do her, I know. Okay, yeah, we can do a call in. I think that's really everything I got to say. I'll put it in the chat. I don't even really have a question. I just saw this thing and I wanted to monologue. Doug MPA can get up here. And so really, I mean, my point is I wouldn't expect anything I wouldn't really expect anything different with these women. Because they're still only submissive when they feel like it. Because anybody that's been submissive or attempted to do it knows it's not really fun. It kind of sucks in a lot of ways, but it's good for you. The same way eating a salad is. I want candy so bad. She's a low 6 in LA and done. Why get cuffed? Yeah, they only feel like it when it benefits them. Anyways, guys, like the video on your way out. Subscribe to the channel. I love you, and I'll see you next time.